it's Christy from the Boxtruck couple, and in today's video I just wanted to share with you some information on setting up a carrier packet. I have had several subscribers that asked if we could do a video on carrier packets, and so I was sitting in here today signing this rate confirmation for a load that we are going to be taking to Tennessee on Monday. And I said, you know what, this is an excellent opportunity for me to share with you. Now, carrier packets are super easy. However, I realize that when you first start, they don't feel so easy because you've never done them before. So let's talk about carrier packets. Now, we use the DAT load board, right? And on the DAT load board, you can see where you're picking up the load, where you're dropping the load off, the broker that has the load available, and also pertinent information, like it might be notes like it has to have a reefer, no box truck, maybe it specifies the dock height, that it has to be a dock height box truck. Maybe it specifies that there have to be so many inches from the floor of the truck to the roll-up door. For instance, there are some loads that it has to be 96 to the roll-up door, or it has to be 98 inches wide, or it has to be 103 inches high, or whatever the case may be. So there are going to be important notes that determine whether or not I even call. Fast forward, you call, you set up the load, they run your MC number, and they realize that you don't have your carrier information is not set up with their company. So when you're first starting out, 9 times out of 10, every load you book with somebody new, you're going to have to set up a carrier packet. So carrier packets are simply this: your information has to be on file with their company so that you can run loads with them. Carrier packets, they don't ask for anything hard. Once you do 1 or 2, you already have that information from me. I save certain things on our desktop computer so that when I need them, they're readily available. Number 1, your certificate of insurance. Every carrier that you run for needs to verify your certificate of insurance. Number 1, that's one thing that you're going to have readily available. Some carriers have asked for our operating agreement and some have not, but you always want to make sure that you have that available as well. Your operating agreement comes from the FMCSA. We received ours once we were active in the mail, and I keep it in our DOT compliance book, but I also keep a copy saved on the computer. It has our MC number, it has our DOT number, it has all the information that the carriers are looking for to make sure that our authority is active. They're going to pull your MC number. They're going to see all of this information, but they also want this information from you when they're setting up your carrier packet. The next thing they ask for is your W-9. Now, your W-9, of course, is your tax information, your EIN number, and tax information from the IRS. You can go on the IRS website, download a blank W-9, fill it in. If you have Adobe, you can fill it in, sign it, save it to your computer, or print it out. I print one out and put it in our DOT compliance book, and I have one saved to the computer. Now, the thing with that is the one that I have saved actually was one that I printed, signed and dated, and then scanned in to my computer. So I really need to go back in and do one on Adobe. Here's the thing though, you may want to do one, say the one that I did that's saved on my computer right now is from May 9th. So if I set up with a new carrier today, I'm going to have to re-sign one with a current date, because May 9th for them may be too far out. So it's a good practice if you have a desktop or if you have Adobe on your smartphone or iPad to keep that, because you can always update your signature and date and send them that updated copy. So far we talked about certificate of insurance, operating agreement, and your W-9 information. Now I want to go back to the certificate of insurance. Some carriers may or may not want to be listed on that certificate of insurance as an insured party. If that is the case, that's why you communicate with your agent. We got our insurance through Fleet Risk Management, and their team is awesome. Whenever I am completing a carrier packet, I've been on the road, you guys. And for instance, we took a load to Fort Myers, Florida. While we were sitting there getting unloaded, I found the load coming back from North Point, Florida to Kennesaw, Georgia. Perfect load, but I had never run with Worldwide Logistics. So he shot me an email saying the last thing we need is a certificate of insurance with us as the certificate holder, and they'll tell you exactly what name and address to put on it. I replied back to him and add my agent, that I have included my agent in this email, and they will respond shortly with a copy of the certificate of insurance. Listen to the information below, and literally in a few minutes my agent will reply back to that email with the certificate of insurance. So when you looking for insurance through an agent, make sure you get one that has a team that's readily available to assist you, because as drivers, we're out on the road. We need what we need when we need it. We need it right then. So I just love Fleet Risk Management. I love, if I'm going to put their information in the description box. If anybody with a new authority needs insurance, I highly recommend them. Now I don't know what all areas they're going to cover, but you can certainly give them a call. Make sure that you tell them that Christy Vaughn from meanttobetrucking sent you for the referral. Okay, that's going to give me a referral. Honestly, every carrier is different. Anything outside of that really is carrier choice. They may just send you a list of items that they need you to send to them, or they may have an actual application that you have to go through and sign. Some have a DocuSign paperwork. Some have DocuSign paperwork for you to fill out. Some don't. It just really depends on the carrier. I can tell you this though. As you start completing carrier packets, I promise you it's going to get easier. You're going to start realizing what the requirements are, what's needed, and what you need to do to quickly get them filled out. When I first started filling out carrier packets, it was from here, from home, from my office. Now I do them on the fly. When we're out in the truck and I'm looking for a load and I find a load, have all that stuff ready. I have what's saved on my computer. The reason that I have a Mac computer is that we use Apple phones and iPads. And I actually need to get a laptop to take with us. But what's stored on here, I can see on my phone. Or I make sure that I save a copy to my phone. Email it to yourself or whatever and just hit download. Whatever you need to do to have that information with you at all times. Now that we have a truck GPS, it's going to be even easier because we're not worried about watching the GPS on the phone. My husband can focus on the GPS, the truck navigator, while I'm on the phone handling business, and I can use my phone and his phone and the iPad and whatever else I need to make it happen. So there you go. Once you set up with that carrier one time, you guys, you are set up with that carrier. You don't have to set up ever again. Here's a good thing about setting up with a carrier, you guys. When you get on the dead load board, my eye is automatically scanning for number one. The first thing I'm looking for is SB, which is the straight box truck. So I'm looking for those loads, but I'm also looking at the brokers, because if I see one for Landstar, I'm automatically calling that first, especially if it's in an area that I want to go in. Now, I'm not really prone to accepting loads to California, Arizona, these really long. I don't want to go that far. I don't mind. I'm in Georgia, so I don't mind Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina. No, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Florida. I don't mind surrounding Georgia, but we haven't gotten so bold as to go that far yet. Will we ever? Possibly, but at this point, we're just not ready for that yet. So I'm automatically scanning for box truck loads, and I'm automatically scanning for brokers that I have accounts with. Because I'm going to call them and say, hey, I got an account with Landstar and I'm looking at this load. What's up? And then we can go from there. Like with Landstar, who we run a tire load for once a week, you guys know, they were the very first person that booked a load with us. And I built a relationship with the person that set us up that day. I call him once or twice a week, and if he needs somebody right away, he calls me to see if we're able to take the load. He called us last week for a load. We're trying to get a load to Nicedale, North Carolina. We had just come back from Sandstone, Virginia, and Nicedale, North Carolina was available, but I didn't respond to him that day. So the next day when I called him, he had already booked it. Well, the person he booked it with, truck broke down. So he called me to say, hey, can you take this load? And we had already said we weren't taking any loads over the 4th of July weekend because of the traffic. Atlanta traffic was terrible. So we actually turned the load down. But how do you think I feel that he called me to see? I just got an email. We dealt with Worldwide Logistics when we went to Fort Myers. I talked about that a few minutes ago. And I found a load in North Point, which is about 37 miles from Fort Myers, headed back home, on the way home. And every week, this was today. I don't know if you can see it. It has, today's the 7th. It is marked North Point to Atlanta for 7/8. It's a pickup tomorrow. Pickup tomorrow, which is Thursday. Pick up North Point, Florida at 10:30. Deliver in Atlanta 1:30 on Friday. So he's automatically calling me every week. He's automatically emailing me to say, hey, got this load. If you're in the area, can you do it? Yeah. Build relationships, you guys. When you build relationships, it becomes easier to reach out to the brokers and say, hey, you got something for me? Or them to say, oh, let me call Meant to Be Trucking, or let me call Better Than You Logistics, or let me call ABC Freight, because I know that they're hungry and they're looking for these loads. So that's my spiel. That's my take on carrier packets. They're really simple once you get the hang of them. Everybody has to get the hang of them, okay? I know it seems scary, and I feel like half of the people that are asking me have never done one, or are just getting into the business and not active yet, and you just want to know how this goes. Trust me, the broker will walk you through every step of the way. If there's something not filled out correctly, they're gonna call you, email, text you, and say, hey, you filled out this part. I don't need you to fill that part out. I need you to fill this part out, because it's got to be right in their system. So the things that you don't know, just say, hey, I don't know. I told Roman at Landstar day one, you're my very first, this is my very first load. I'm brand new and you're my first load. And me and him built a relationship. He calls me every week. He's the one that called me about Nicedale, North Carolina. I called him this morning. He didn't answer. He called me back 10 minutes later. He went through his whole list of box truck runs. He had two that paid a lot more money than the one I took, but they're 11,000 pounds, and my truck can only take 9740. Okay, so I turned it down. I landed on Laverne, Tennessee, and the reason that I landed on Laverne, Tennessee is 270 miles. It pays $600. That's $2.22 a mile. $2.22 a mile. I landed on Laverne, Tennessee because Tennessee is hot, and I know that I'm either going to get a load back or I can run an Amazon load while I'm up there, even if we have to lay over for a little bit. And I got it because it's a quick shot. 4 hours there, get unloaded, 4 hours back. So do what you got to do, you guys. But this isn't until Friday, so I'm going to jump off this video and try to get us a load for today, or an Amazon run or something to keep the money coming. Alright, family, so that's going to do it for this video. I was so happy to be able to answer that. There were so many people asking, how do you fill out carrier packets, or what is needed for carrier packets, or could you please just talk about carrier packets? So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it helped somebody to understand that you can do it. You guys, you can do it, okay? All the stuff that we share with you, we're learning as we go, okay? Not new to transportation, because we were both yard jockeys with Amazon. But we are new to the box truck business. So this side of it, we're learning as we grow. And all the things that we're learning, we're here to help you. So I hope that these videos are helpful. If you need more time, if you need one-on-one time or direct access to us, please use the link below. It's called Calendly. I'm probably not saying it right, so I just put it on the screen. But the direct link is in the description box. I get so many emails with people that have question after question after question after question, and honestly, that's what that link is for. So if you have, if you just want to know, hey, what do I do to fill out my authority? Yeah, shoot me an email. But if you have like a whole list of stuff that you need the answer to, then we really need to have a conversation. And that's why the link is there, so you can book some time with us, okay? It's at a minimum price, because time is money, but we're here to help. And if you use that link and book time with us, then you have direct access to us going forward. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that you guys have the most amazing day. I hear Tabitha Brown say that all the time. Have the most amazing day, you guys, and stay safe on the road, okay? Thanks so much for watching The Box Truck Couple.